Tonight marks 3 years since a transgender woman went missing in Brownsville, but her family tells CBS 4's Derek Garcia they believe police aren't putting the cold case at the top of their list because of her sexual orientation and her line of work.
No leads, nothing new, still investigating.
This is what Yvonne Avila hears every year.
It's ridiculous. No, I'm at a point where 3 years and he still can't give us anything.
Kimberly Avila, known as the Brownsville Police Department, frequented bars as a sex worker. Yvonne believes something bad happened. Yvonne is the last family member who saw Kimberly alive. We say alive because last year at a prayer vigil, justice was the phrase being used by police, the district attorney's office.
Why ask for justice? Why? Why? What do you know that you're not telling us?
Last year, we spoke with newly appointed police chief in the city of Brownsville, Felix Salceda. He told our cameras and the family something big was on the way.
I am very faith-driven. I am very faithful that there will be some type of closure here in the near future.
New year, same phrase.
Because we need to know what happened. We deserve to know the answer. And if it's true, we need to get justice.
Derek Garcia, CBS 4, Valley at 6.
Is the United States on the brink of recession? Cameron County voters reject the arena. What happens now moving forward? And is downtown Brownsville safe? It is Monday, 7:06 a.m., May the 9th. My name is Frankie Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. Now, we'll be starting off today's segment with everyone's favorite part of the show, the weather. The city of Brownsville is looking at a hot day, to say the least. The city of Brownsville right now is at 92 degrees. South Padre Island, the Cabrera boys are looking at a nice breezy 82 degrees. For the most part, it will be hot temperatures and high humidity, which may cause some illness to occur. And we have to always forget that there will be some air pressure coming in from Mexico and South Texas, which will continue for our area to be hot and dry conditions throughout the day. Now, is the United States on the brink of recession? President Trump will be making a statement tomorrow regarding inflation. And there are many things that are going on within the United States economy. Right now, the world right now is at a standstill, it seems, with Russia invading Ukraine. Post-COVID, we have seen how the job market is not as strong as what it once was. There are many issues going on within the economy. Now, it is impressive to see that even Americans on both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, left and right, can both agree that this administration has not been addressing the needs of the average American citizens. And as we all know, the hot topic right now for midterm elections is inflation. What are we going to do to get us out of this bubble? Is the bubble going to burst? Many experts feel that it is. Now, who's to blame? We have for many years been questioning the role within government in our everyday lives. Post-COVID, the administration's belief was that if we provide one more $1,400 stay-at-home check, we can get out of this post-COVID recession. We have seen how renters have gotten free rent. We have allowed landowners to take the hit of it. We have seen how consumer goods prices have skyrocketed. And again, nothing in this world is free, as we all know. We have seen the likes of gasoline go up. We have seen the likes of everyday consumer goods go up. Now, is it the role of the government to alleviate our lives and provide food for us on the table? That depends on who you ask. But again, are we seeing the effects from those $1,400 checks, from the leniency that we have given to the American people. And before you stop and say, "Hey, Frankie, you're cold-hearted," well, again, everything in life is never free. Those $1,400 checks, we are starting to see the ramifications of it. Now, there are many big arguments to say that, hey, this is corporate America. Corporate America has gained all this power and has forced the American consumer to take the brunt of it. We have seen how the banking markets, even Pampers, something that we use on a daily basis, have gone expensive. We have seen the likes of gasoline prices rise 62%, used cars 21%, 20%, and milk 6%. Inflation is a big problem within today, and many have argued and stated, Frankie, inflation is something that every economy goes through. And while you are correct, it does seem like year in and year out, administration through administration, we go through different types of recessions. President Obama, it was the automobile industry, the bailout industry, the housing market crash back in 2008 with Freddie Mae, with Freddie Mae doing what it did. But the interesting thing is, how can we curb inflation? Is inflation something that was bound to happen no matter what? I've heard many individuals say, because of COVID, and this is something that we hear a lot. Now let's take a look. And everybody has also stated, hey, we're in the brink of a war. We're in the middle of a war. The United States has been pumping money to the Ukraine, and that is the reason why that we have seen higher gas prices. Well, this graph here shows us that the average gasoline price has gone up before Russia invades Ukraine. And if we could see here from this graph, it shows us how it gradually has been going up since President Biden took office. Now, again, there are many issues that involve my mic. Is my mic off? There are many issues that involve inflation and the economy, but it's important to see how people from both sides of the aisle are finally saying, hey, something's not right here. We need to address inflation. Well, President Biden will speak tomorrow in front of an anticipated America who is wanting and hearing to hear from our commander-in-chief to see what the next steps is regarding inflation. Back in December, he said that we're at the peak when it was at 5.4%. We are still waiting for the statistics from the Bureau of Labor to come in next week, if I'm not mistaken, to give us April results. But we still anticipate annual inflation rate still being at an 8.1 through an 8.3 percentage, which, if you ask any economist, that is never good. In local news, the voters came out for the second time and let the county know that the Cameron County Arena was not in the best interests of Cameron County voters. We did have the elections, which did see a large increase in voter turnout compared to 6 months ago. 6 months ago, we did have the arena on the agenda, and it narrowly lost by 55 votes. We have been very vocal about stating, hey, if the Cameron County voters decided once that this wasn't the best interest, why are we having this again? Our city leaders, our county leaders stated that we did not have the proper information moving forward, and this was something that was going to benefit the county as a whole. Well, we could make the argument that we don't feel that that is the case. The voters turned out for the second time, and now with an even larger margin of over 200 votes, stated that this proposition for the county venue off the expressway in the city of Brownsville was not in the best interest of us as a whole. Now, what gives? What will happen to Madeira moving forward? As we all know, many have questioned Madeira and the business relationships that this co-manager, co-owner, co-sponsor of the Madeira project has with our city and county leaders. Now, while that is not something to frown upon, because all these individuals ultimately they do have these working relationships. But what now? What happens now? 2 strikes for Madeira is third time the charm. We have been critical of our county leaders of stating, if the voters said no once, why are you bringing it back again? Now, is third time the charm? Is this property in Madeira what we really need? Will these county leaders bring it up for a third time? We do have elections in November. That's going to be very interesting. Or an idea that I did float out there was, what if the city of Brownsville picked it up? Because at the end of the day, they made the argument that this would be a project that would benefit the county as a whole. And many individuals say, no, not really. It's going to benefit South Padre Island and the city of Brownsville, Texas. So how will this project, what will be the end result of it? Now, all we heard was that this is a win-win situation for the county, for the city of Brownsville, for everyone as a whole, for us taxpayers. Will the city of Brownsville pick up this project? If this is a win-win situation, will the developers themselves foot the bill and not have the county taxpayers on the hook? Many have stated how they were quick to leave, just how they created their pages from Dallas and from the Hidalgo County area. They were quick to leave. The county Facebook page, the Cameron County Arena page, was no longer in existence. Now, again, can we stick a fork in it? Can we say this is over? The Cameron County voters spoke loud and clear for the second time with over 200 votes and stated that this was not in the best interest of Cameron County. I wouldn't put it past our county, our city officials to try and sneak this back. Again, Cameron County is 0-2 with 2 strikes with this Madeira project. Could they go for the punch out? They always say third time's a charm. Is that in marriage, or is that for county projects with over $100 million at stake? That will be interesting to follow once we hear of the next steps. It's like Cyclobia, Brownsville, 2022 took place this past Friday. And while we are all in support of living a healthier lifestyle, of making sure that we do exercise and we do stress the need and importance to our young men and women, our young children, to be active as much as possible, we support these endeavors. But many individuals questioned the location of all places. Again, we had families out in full force on Morrison Street. While I did not really hear about the location until that day, many individuals were reaching out and saying, what's going on in Morrison? Is there an event going on? Well, Cyclobia did take place. We saw friends and family on bicycles and rollerblades. Now, again, while we all are in support of living and choosing to live a healthier lifestyle, there are many individuals that question the location of this place. There was a comment posted, a post on Facebook that said, hey, how did it go on a Friday afternoon? How did everyone like Cyclobia on Morrison on a Friday afternoon? And we can just imagine, and we can just all picture ourselves how everybody is frantically at 5 p.m. on a Friday getting ready to head out. Traffic is bumper to bumper, it seems. And just to get from part A to part B on a Friday afternoon is pretty hectic. Now, just imagine the city shutting down one of the busiest intersections, one of the busiest roads in the city of Brownsville, the heart of the city, so to speak, on a Friday afternoon. Now, the previous locations for Cyclobia has been downtown Brownsville in previous years. They have been on, the events have usually taken place in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. Many have questioned, what was the reason? What was going on? Is this has not been properly thought of? How can you shut down one of the busiest cities on a Friday afternoon of all places? Many have said, hey, why didn't we do this on a Sunday morning? There's not a lot of traffic on Sunday morning. Many individuals are in church from certain hours. So there's not that much jam in the streets. Now, again, We do have a sports park that is 30, 40, $50 million in the works. Can we use venues such as this to host Cyclobia? Again, we don't want the community to misinterpret our comments. We are in support of living a healthy lifestyle, and we encourage individuals to go out on the bike, to go rollerblading, to get some sunlight. I myself need some vitamin D, according to my doctor. But we do question the location and timing and planning of this event. It seemed as if much thought was not taken into consideration. Why was this not put downtown Brownsville? Was this going to affect a Friday evening for certain business owners downtown, that they held the city hostage for an hour or two? Again, we are supportive of endeavors such as this. We just question the timing of it all. Again, we do have a sports park. We do have an allocated area where we should encourage and focus for us to use as much as possible. Cyclovia would have been perfect at the sports park, but again, our city leaders determined that they wanted to shut down the city on a Friday afternoon of all times, and then of all places, Morrison Road, which is one of the busiest areas or intersections in the city of Brownsville. And now for our featured story. Is downtown Brownsville safe? When I think of downtown Brownsville, I grew up in downtown Brownsville. My grandparents have offices, a plaza in downtown Brownsville, and I frequented Brownsville. I tell everybody that, hey, the reason why I'm a nerd was because I was in the office all day, listening to individuals talk about office stuff. I think that's why I'm such a office nerd. I'm a great secretary because I grew up in an office. My recollections of downtown Brownsville growing up was that it wasn't the best areas. We did hear and see prostitutes. We did see the sale of narcotics, people being under the influence of drugs. As of late, we have seen how downtown Brownsville has been slowly trying to shift into an entertainment center. The commissioners and the city of Brownsville have been pumping money back into the streets, paving streets, trying to beautify the area. The controversial mural that was designed by a Californian artist, which is still up for argument. We have seen how Brownsville, the city of Brownsville, has been trying to beautify downtown. Many have said, hey, this is what Elon Musk has wanted. At the end of the day, after he did purchase Twitter for $43 billion, he did hang out at Hueso de Fragil. We did hear how he kind of closed down shop. He rented out the space for him and his friends to hang out. The city of Brownsville has spent over $400,000 in these past years as they tried to increase security and their presence. They did install 40 to 50 cameras downtown, which did come at a cost of close to $500,000. The Brownsville Police Department has been patrolling downtown in bicycles, trying to give us patrons the sense of security, letting us know that, hey, all is well in downtown Brownsville. Now, is that the case? Are we safe downtown? And before I play the following clip, I do want to state that this video is graphic in nature, but the reason why I want to publicize this as much as possible is because of the cruelty and the mindset of this individual. Again, viewer discretion is advised. I will try my best to play this video for you. Again, viewer discretion is advised. Now here we have an individual who is out partying. We have a group of individuals who are out partying And as we all know, people get that liquor courage. It seems once they start drinking, all hell breaks loose. I personally don't like drinking. I have lost a friend because of drinking, and I personally don't like the way individuals they're moody. They get angry. They get violent. That is a common theme amongst individuals who are drinking. But we got this late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and it was very shocking. It was very shocking for this to take place, and the location of all places was right in front of City Hall. It was right in front of the municipal court, and City Hall is down the road. Brownsville Police Department is down the road. This happened right in front of Tina's restaurant. Now, we brought up this story. We wanted to focus on this story because uh, of something that arose from this situation. Now, again, this was an unfortunate situation that was very difficult to watch. Here we have a group of individuals, predominantly men, around a certain number of females. There's an argument that ensues, and this man who is bigger than all the rest of the group, he ended up sucker punching or sucker slapping this individual with long hair. And if you hear the audio, if I'm going to play it right now, I want you to hear the impact. I want you to hear her head bounce on the concrete. This is something very serious. Listen for her head bouncing. Did you hear that? We heard coins. We heard her lose her purse. We heard coins, makeup, and then we hear her head bounce on the concrete. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this a big issue was because of comments that were made. Many individuals stated, "You know what? That's a transsexual. That's a tranny. Look at the wig. It's a long hair. There's no way that could be a woman." Many individuals were trying to justify saying that they got what they deserve because that was a transsexual. Now, it really bothers me for individuals, for our society, to have this mindset that it is okay that individual gets sucker punched because they identify as a female. It seems as if this group of men, this group of friends, did nothing about it. They said, "Oh, well, that's a man anyways. He wants to be a female, but that's a man. So who cares?" That's not the way our society should live nowadays. Whether that's a man or a female, that person is still a human being. And then of all times, to be in a time of year where we're celebrating love and mothership, and how we love our mothers, and they raise us to live a certain lifestyle, to live a certain way, and then to see individuals such as this, it just really bothers me. It really does. And it caught me thinking, what if this was a transsexual? Does this make it okay? Does this justify these actions? Now we can all make the argument that we don't, but let's not forget what happened in downtown Brownsville 5 years ago. We are still missing Kimberly Avila. Kimberly Avila was a known transsexual woman who was either abducted or her whereabouts are unknown. The last location that we know of is in downtown Brownsville. Now, is downtown Brownsville safe? We as a society have been more accepting of individuals who identify themselves as a he, she, and different types of pronouns that they identify themselves with. Now, situations such as this makes us take a step back. Whether that was a male or female doesn't justify that individual being sucker punched. that doesn't justify those other men in that group for not standing up and saying, hey, what the hell? What are you doing? Why don't you pick a fight with me, bro? Again, why do individuals target what seems to be their most weakest in the group? It bothers me to note that individuals stated that, oh, the reason why this happened was because that's a transsexual, that's a tranny, and that's a man under that, so that's okay. Who cares? Ladies and gentlemen, whether that was a man or a female, that is still a human being. Now, as us, as a society, are we going to say that's okay for him to take out his anger on a tranny because that's a man at the end of the day? Again, are we taking a step back as a society and saying, hey, this hate, what happened to Kimberly Avila? Kimberly Avila was met with this same aggression. Kimberly Avila wasn't as fortunate as this individual who was able to have her life spared. And here we see was even more troubling was her knocked out on the ground. Even after this altercation, she was out cold for hours, it seemed. And they moved her from the restaurant to right in front of City Hall, right in front of City Plaza, of all places. Now, let's not forget, remember the last big known crime happening downtown? Remember the tagger that tagged up the mural in downtown Brownsville? How quick did it take for our Brownsville PD to make an arrest? We saw, and many stated what a controversial move it was by the city mayor to post a mugshot of an individual who tagged the mural. And many stated, hey, you know, the city was quick. They jumped on the opportunity to find a crime that was being committed downtown and find the alleged perpetrator and arrested them. Now, while we know that the Brownsville PD is very active on social media, we are more than aware that they know and have seen this tape. Now, is it a matter of time before they start going through the cameras downtown to try and see if they can spot a license plate, to see if they can spot something that identifies the perpetrators? Are they actively working on this case? I would hope so, and I believe they are. I genuinely do believe they are. But the question remains: is downtown Brownsville safe? The city has tried to portray that downtown Brownsville is the place to go for entertainment. Little by little, we have seen how different bars have been opening up, and people like to go to Terrace. People like to go to the library. People like to go to other restaurants, other hangouts. Wesley Fragil, they like to go to downtown Brownsville. It's a different feel. But will instances like this make us think twice about going? I believe so. I do encourage the Brownsville PD to amp up their presence downtown. We haven't been seeing the bike patrol as much. And again, I don't want to say that downtown Brownsville is not safe because of this incident. No, but if we do see police presence, there might be less of reason to act this way. Again, we had an individual who was assaulted barbarically by a huge individual who took it out on somebody. An individual stated, it's okay. It's okay because that is a tranny. And no matter what happens, they deserved it because they're a man and they should take it. Again, the city of Brownsville is still reading and still looking for Kimberly Avila, who was either abducted, taken against her will, and the last location that she was known to be at was in downtown Brownsville. Is downtown Brownsville safe? Can we go on a night out of town and be assured that our safety, that we do not have to worry about our safety? Or is downtown Brownsville an area that we should avoid because we do not have police presence? And even though the city did buy $400,000 worth of cameras don't really do much. Now you said it. And once again, if anybody does have any information regarding Kimberly Avila, there is a $10,000 reward. The city of Brownsville, the Avila family are encouraging those individuals who might have any sort of leads regarding Kimberly Avila to please call in at 956-546-TIPS. That's 8477. Again, there is a $10,000 reward for either information regarding an arrest or information regarding the whereabouts or what happened to Kimberly Avila. Is downtown Brownsville safe? Is individuals such as this who are taking it out on a unwilling assailant who had no part in the discussion, who had no part in the argument, is it okay for her to get hit because she identified as a woman, but that really is a man? Or are we as a society going to put our foot down and say, this is wrong, whether that's a man or a female, that is still assault and that should not be tolerated in the city of Brownsville? And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. It is Monday, January 9th, 7:35 a.m. Is the United States on the brink of recession? Not yet. Is the United States on the brink of recession? The Cameron County voters came back twice and stated that the arena was not in the best interest of the county as a whole. Cyclobia 2022, while we do support exercise and living a healthier lifestyle, we do question the planning and thought process of our city leaders who would shut down a very busy intersection on a Friday afternoon of all times to hold this event. Now, again, we are supportive of bikers. We just prefer that these events take place maybe in the proper venue, such as the Brownsville Sports Park. And is downtown Brownsville safe? We did have an individual who was assaulted on Saturday night, and the city of Brownsville is still looking for Kimberly Avila, who is an open transsexual woman. Now, many individuals have stated that the reason why this person was punched, or the reason why we shouldn't feel so bad for this individual, was because they are transsexual. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we still have that hate in our society, not just in Brownsville, but in the United States against individuals who identify a certain way. Maybe Kimberly Avila was met with that same fate. Somebody who hated transsexual, somebody who had hate in their heart for individuals like this. Now, I encourage the Brownsville PD to do everything possible to make sure that we get this individual arrested, and we put his mugshot everywhere. Just the way that tagger was blasted everywhere, I want my city to blast that individual, to make it known that we do not stand for this. We do not tolerate this type of behavior, whether that's a man or a female. We will not allow for our patrons to be subjected to that. Hope you guys have a great Monday. Happy start of your week. Wishing y'all a great start to this new week. God bless.